Hi everybody, Janine here. The fat vegan who's not really a vegan. Okay, so it's day 13 and the very first time, I actually feel good. I have been really struggling. I've been totally emotional, off the map, yelling at my kids, just awful, like hurting, having a hard time doing anything that's right, wanting to stuff my face, awful. And today, for some reason, it's just the first day. I don't know if my body's finally getting used to it or what, or it's just an anomaly, who knows. But today is the first day I actually feel somewhat decent. Actually feel good. Have a little bit more energy. I'm happier. I'm not yelling. I have patience. And I really feel good. I really hope I have more days like this, or at least the first initial hump I'm kind of over. I have been sticking to the vegan diet from the book almost explicitly. I completely have eliminated meat from my diet. I'm doing Dr. Greger's Daily Dozen. You can look that up if you're not familiar with it. And lots of plants and grains and anything that's plant-based. No eggs, very little dairy, maybe like an ounce or two of cheese a day, and that's it. No more milk, all of that stuff. A tiny bit of creamer. It's and very little salt. So as you can imagine, someone who weighs 400 pounds was about ready to break, because once again, when I decided to lose weight, I just went crazy and decided to go all out. You can't do it. You can't do it. And I've been watching videos online of all these people, these really overweight people that have lost a whole bunch of weight, and they are all the same. All the success stories are the same, and that is that they always start small, just small steps, and work their way up. Because I have so many bad habits and so many issues underlying the overeating. I can't just do everything all at once. That being said, I started to reevaluate and think about the things that I was doing with my diet. I love this book. I agree with a lot of it. I think that they add a lot of stuff to our meat and our food now that we don't even know. And I really have always loved vegetables and have been a big proponent of vegetables. So I love the idea of at least trying to do a plant-based diet. I am not going to crucify myself if I mess up. Up until now, I was very strict about this is what I'm going to do, period. And I realize I have to give myself a little bit more leeway. And I'm going to set some goals that I think that would be better to follow. And once I accomplish one goal, or feel at least confident that I can continue in it on a regular basis, I will move on to the next goal. The very first goal that I did was get rid of all pop. I really got rid of all processed sugar at all, actually, except for the 3 tablespoons that was in my coffee every morning. But I'm just going to say it was pop. Okay, that is a big one for me. I'm a huge fan of Coke. Love my Coca-Cola. Love my crack Coca-Cola. And it's been 13 days now with not a single can of soda. And I think I've reached that hump, and I can continue with that and not look back. Down the road, I might, mess up, but I think that I'm pretty confident that I can continue from here. So that was the first goal. The second goal, which I started maybe 2 days ago when I started thinking through this process in my head and thinking that doing a more smaller goal-based diet is probably the best way to go. My second goal is going to be exercise. I used to love exercise. I loved sweating. I loved running. I loved aerobics. I loved step aerobics. I was really good at it. Kickboxing, Taibo. I rollerblading. I was a huge rollerblader. I used to do like fancy stuff and tricks and whatever, and I loved it. I was good at it. So I miss that. But exercising now is a whole different story. Everything hurts. My back hurts, my head hurts, my joints hurt, my knees are killing me. I hurt my knee rollerblading years ago, and I have to be very careful with my knees, and obviously my weight doesn't help. So exercise has been really hard. The last couple of days, even, I talked myself into from the beginning that doing it every other day was okay. But even that was difficult for me. And then I went to just 10 minutes every other day, and it was really hard. I would just think about going outside for a walk and I would start to cry because it hurt. And I knew that it was going to hurt and it was going to be exhausting and I was going to be emotionally exhausted afterward. However, now that I'm going to do more goal-based things, I think that my next goal is going to be exercise, but I think that I am not going to overdo it, and I'm going to limit myself. Well, not limit myself, but set a goal to do just 10 minutes a day. Every day, 10 minutes. If that is lifting weights or just moving around the room more or walking down the street. So far, it's been walking. I walked to the end of the street and back with my dog. And I think if I can get past that hump, for me, it's not even the physical part. It's really the emotional part that goes along with it. And I can get it. So it's a habit for me. Then it'll be easier to expand on that in the future. So that's my second goal is number 2 is going to be exercising 10 minutes every day. I might make it every day, I might not, but so far it's been 2 days, and I took a walk after dinner last night and I actually felt pretty good. So those are my goals, and as soon as I feel like I've accomplished this one, then I'm going to move on to the next one, and I don't know what that's going to be yet. I haven't figured it out. As for my eating, I went way extreme healthy, which is probably why I got so emotional and my whole body went, what the hell are you doing? So I think I'm going to back off a little bit, and I'm still going to do that. I'm still going to try to be as healthy as possible because that's my end goal after years in the future. I would really like to be on a mostly plant-based diet. I really like anything that's more natural or plant-based is where I want to, that's my ultimate goal, but right now I think one step at a time is better. But anything I can do to work up to that is fine. So up till now, I kind of revamped my cabinet, and I'll show you that in a video here eventually. But I went to a lot of grains and whole grains and quinoa and lots of different, vegetables and beans and just kind of changed that. And I haven't had meat that whole time. I haven't had meat. I'm not going to limit myself to not having meat because I love meat, so if I really want it, I'm going to let myself have it. But I think for now, I'm still going to try and follow mostly the Daily Dozen, Dr. Greger's Daily Dozen 12, as much as I can. I haven't had any eggs for that long, which is hard for me because I do enjoy eggs, and I own chickens, my own chickens, and I let them free range. So I know where they come from and I know what they eat. So that's a little bit harder for me. But so I might have an egg here and there, but up until now I haven't. It's been 13 days and I haven't had an egg. I haven't had a glass of milk. I haven't had all the things that I love. So it's proved to me that I'm a lot stronger than I realize that I am. And that's made me really happy because I've felt so weak for so long that to have that feeling is wonderful. So that's kind of where I'm going to go with that. Little by little, I will start to show you some of the things that I eat, and I'm still trying to add, just every single dish, I'm trying to add either beans or vegetables or some of these new foods that I'm learning about, flax seeds, chia seeds, for a snack, having a handful of nuts. I went to air pop popcorn, which I've never done in my entire life, and I'm actually learning to enjoy it. So I really feel like I'm on my way this time. I'm going to have some ups and downs. I'm going to mess up like anybody on any diet, in the holidays, my favorite time of year, fall, apple cider, donuts, Christmas, Thanksgiving, my favorite time of year, Christmas cookies are coming up. So it's going to be difficult for me, but I even bought some cane sugar, which I have not used at all yet. So I'm going to try to start doing things in moderation, and maybe using, substitutions and trying different things out to see what I can handle. I think I'm doing really well right now too, because it's my favorite time of year, harvest time, and I love me a tomato. It's probably my absolute favorite food. I cut up tomatoes and cilantro and onions every day and make like a salsa type, fresh salsa thing for lunch, with garlic and herbs. And it's just, I've always ate that even before I was on a diet. When I was eating McDonald's for dinner, I was eating that for lunch because I loved it. So that was a good place for me to start. So anyway, I don't want to make this video too long, but I just wanted to tell you there is hope. There is hope. And I have hope that I'm on the right track. And I'm going to try not to guilt myself too much for adding an extra pinch of salt, you know, to one of my meals or something like that, because I can't go that strict. You know, I weigh 400 pounds. Well, last time I weighed myself, it was 393. So that's where I'm at right now. And I know that when I was healthy, that very brief time in my life that I was healthy, when I first met my husband, you know, about 17 years ago now, I weighed around 175. I'm 5'9" and always been bigger or stockier, I guess, kind of person anyway. And I felt really good. That's when I was running my marathon. And I actually lost some more weight. I kind of got crazy back then. And I went down to 165. And when I did, everybody asked me if I was anorexic. I got comments all the time. You could see like the bones like in my shoulders and my collars. So I know somewhere around there, around 170, 175 is really my healthy weight. And I remember feeling so good. I would sit there and watch a movie with my friends, and then sometimes I would just all of a sudden start doing sit-ups because it just felt good. Like I loved exercise. I loved the endorphins I got from exercise. People thought I was crazy. And I want that again. So that's, I guess, my goal weight. So, you know, if I started at around 400, you know, that's 225 is what I'm aiming for. So that's where I'm at. No pop. Starting to exercise 10 minutes a day. And am I going to be a vegan forever? I have no idea. I did the Fat Vegan because this book is kind of what inspired me, How to Not to Diet by Dr. Greger. And I really, like I said, really like the whole plant-based idea, or more natural, you know, honey instead of sugar, and, you know, just more natural things. So I know what's actually going in my body. You know, it actually started with my husband a couple years ago because he got really into homesteading, and we started watching videos, and that's when we got our own chickens. And now I've got a huge tomato garden and an herb garden. And I really love the whole idea of homesteading and knowing where my food comes from, because I think that America and the food industry are a bunch of big liars. Yeah, I'm the one that puts the food in my mouth. It's completely and totally my responsibility. But every time I think about the food industry and the billions of dollars that go to those lobbyists and the people that do everything they possibly can to make things sound healthier than they actually are, when it's just a bunch of crap they're trying to put in your body so you get addicted to it, like, you know, like sugar and processed foods. I mean, I felt like I was detoxing from crack. I seriously, not that I know what that's like. And I shouldn't joke about that, but I mean, it was my videos in the last couple days, like especially when I was crying or upset. I mean, that's not even half of it. I was so upset. I was freaking out at sometimes. Like, it was really difficult. And I think a lot of that had to do with the processed foods and the sugar that I just kind of killed. So maybe the first couple of weeks, it was actually good that I did that, because it was kind of like a detox. It was a detox for my body. And I'm really hoping that this is kind of my first big hump. You know, I know I'm going to have more down points. I know it. I've been here before, and I know I will, but I think that I'm doing things a little differently enough this time. First of all, I'm documenting online. Even if nobody ever watches these videos, I am documenting this online. And so this is holding myself accountable. I've told a couple of friends who are healthy that I really respect their eating habits and their lifestyles. And I'm hoping that they will, I mean, I know that they will support me through this, and they'll be big supporters. My older sister is doing this How Not to Diet and Vegan Change, and they're ready. They've been doing it for over a month, and they're already feeling huge differences and health-wise. And that's going to be a big motivator, and she's a huge supporter. And I know that she'll be there for me and is there for me already. So I have some things that are different. You know, I've got a huge support system. I have a huge support system. I'm letting people know. I'm trying to hold myself accountable by making videos. And I went to go see a doctor. So I let my doctor in on my plan. So that's like a huge thing. So I'm sometimes I can get very insecure about some of that stuff. So I have a feeling like if I mess up and I fall off the wagon and I decide to kill the diet and the videos and everything, I will be finding a new doctor. Because I don't know that I can go back to my doctor after telling him that, you know, and I'm sure he's seen it a million times before, but it doesn't matter. I can't do that. So yeah, this one's a little bit longer, but I think this was an important video to kind of solidify where I'm at. Like I said, down the road, I think I'd like to, I don't know if I'd be full-fledged vegan, but I definitely, I mean, after reading some of this stuff and even the studies and more, I'm doing more and more research, YouTube, everywhere, scientific journals, talking to doctors, I mean, friends that are doctors, my aunt who's a doctor, and I'm finding all this information about how even just our meat has changed over time. And as much as I love it, like I said before, I love me a good steak. I love chicken. I'll boil chicken for lunch with a bake or with a potato, and then I'll just have boiled chicken with some salt and stuff on it and butter and whatever. And I love it, you know. And before, I mean, I was raised with the idea that, oh, chicken's good for you, you know, whatever. You know, now that I see all the chemicals and the fact that they give them caffeine and antidepressants to keep them awake all night so they eat more and you know, are fed more, and I mean, it's just awful. It's awful. And I think about that now every time I think about eating meat. So down the road, I mean, I can't see myself not being vegan completely, but I definitely think anybody that is interested in being healthier should add more plants to their lifestyle. I don't care who you are. I'm a big proponent of vegetables, period. Vegetables and water. Yeah. Ooh, water. That's probably going to be my next big one. That might be one of my goals too. I'm trying to get in water a day, but it's hard. It's hard. And I can't drink so much after a certain time of day because then I pee all night, like every hour, and I don't sleep well. But that's another video. So that's where I'm at right now. Having a good day. That's my goal. A little bit revamped and reevaluated and changed, but overall not so much. And hopefully this gives somebody else out there in YouTube land a little bit of hope as well. Encouragement for my videos is always appreciated. So thank you, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.